Hello everyone, welcome again to my channel. So now we're going to talk about how to apply for a residence permit to Sweden, also known as the Sambo Visa. So let's go. Alright, so when you're gonna apply, of course you need to create an account with Migrations Verified. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link here as well as in the description box below. I'm going to also put in the link for the other requirements that it's gonna put in, although pag-uusapan naman natin siya ngayon, pero it's better to see it yourself as well. So once you create an account, you need to apply, and you have like a questionnaire that you have to answer. So in this questionnaire, tinatanong niya ang information about yourself as well as your family, and then it also asks about your partner's information and his family as well. Apart from that, syempre tinatanong din niya kung what's the status of the relationship, how the relationship started, and how like you keep communication. My advice is if you're going to answer this, I would or it would be preferred if you answer this together, because after you answer the form, they will actually send a similar form, very similar form, to your partner as well. So if you answer this together, your like the statements that you're gonna put in on the forms will be coordinated. So that's a good thing. Alright, and then next after that, you will go ahead and pay the application fee. When we applied, it was already 2,000 crowns, so I'm not sure as to how much it is now. We applied last September 4th, 20. So after filling up the forms, they will ask you to attach some documents. That's up to you what documents you attach to basically like help prove your relationship, to show that it's actually like a legit relationship. On my end, the documents that I submitted was my passport. I also submitted my certificate of no marriage, and then I also submitted a PDF of photos of us together when he visited here in the Philippines. And then for the documents that he submitted, there are a few things. So I actually have it written down here. I'm gonna go ahead and read them out to you. So first thing is that he attached the transfer of agreement for the apartment. So the apartment that he has is fully paid. So Migrations Verified asked for a document that shows that it is fully paid and he doesn't have any loan with that apartment. So with this, he actually asked like the community leader. I'm really not sure what the right name is. I'm gonna ask my partner and put the document name here. Okay, and then after that, he also submitted a copy of his passport, and then a copy of his passport stamp when he visited here in the Philippines. Next, he also submitted his person vivs. So that's the document stating that he is single and not in a relationship. Alright, and then next, he also submitted his certificate of employment. So to prove that like he is receiving like a continuous flow of cash and that he'd be able to support me. And then after that, he also submitted his most recent bank statement, and then 3 most recent payslips from his employer. Okay, so after we submitted all of these documents, it was now a waiting game as to when we're going to receive the email asking for us to basically request for an interview schedule. So what we did was I emailed them like once per month asking what the status of our application is. So I applied September. I emailed them once in October asking kung sino yung case officer namin and which unit we were assigned to. Same thing in November. We asked the same questions, and then I actually got a response. And they said that our unit was in Orebro, and that they might start working on it in the next coming weeks. And to our surprise, we actually received the email asking for us to book a schedule for an interview. So we actually got it pretty early, considering that I applied September 2020, and then I received the email to book an interview in December 2020. So that's just October, November, December. That's 3 months of waiting, and we already have that. Unfortunately though, we didn't get to take advantage of that situation, because at the time, meron na akong approved visit visa, and we haven't seen each other in 10 months. So we decided, both of us, that we're just gonna wait it out. I'm gonna continue with the visit visa first for 90 days, and then just request the interview once I arrive back in the Philippines. So keep note that interviews are usually held in Bangkok, because the embassy of Sweden in Manila normally doesn't have that. But due to the pandemic, there's a lot of restrictions happening. We were actually lucky enough to have the interview in the embassy of Sweden in Manila. So once I arrived back in the Philippines, which was in March 10th, we requested the interview right away, and then we got it scheduled to March 31st, 2020. It was a good time because I had to undergo 14-day quarantine since I arrived back in the Philippines from a foreign country, and also I had like a few days to be with family again before I get the interview. Alright, so we now fast forward to the day of the interview, which is March 31st. I have a list here of the questions that they usually ask. So that's a list that I reviewed before I went to the interview itself. So I'm just gonna go ahead and list them down here and here as well. Just a brief summary, it's essentially like the questions that you answered when you first applied. So they asked how you met, how you kept in contact, when was the last time you see each other, how often do you talk, and so on and so forth. After that, after my interview, that is when it was a waiting game again. Since our application has already passed the 6-month wait, we are already eligible to submit a request to conclude case. So if you have had your interview and you've passed the 6-month waiting, you can go ahead and submit a request to conclude. But I would not advise to do a request to conclude if you have not had your interview yet, because I've read in a lot of posts na they submitted their request to conclude, they did receive an email to book an interview, and they had the interview, but up until now, 3-5 months later, they still don't have the result. And you can only send the request to conclude once, so you really have to use this one time wisely. And then when I submitted the request to conclude, it was April 6th. After that, we received the result that it was granted on April 8th, 2021. Yay! So when we received the email, we were super ecstatic, and at the time I was actually on leave from work because I took the 3-month vacation. And then unfortunately, once I started working again, I had to submit or render in my resignation so that I'd have enough time to finish like clearances before I head back to Sweden. Thankfully, I will now be heading back to Sweden next month, which is May 27, 2021. So we are super excited. It's now the end of our long distance relationship, and we're happy. If ever that you have any questions, and again, if I talked too fast, please feel free to comment below and I will gladly answer them for you. And also, if you liked this video and found it informative, please make sure to like it, subscribe, and share. Alright, again, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye!